Hello, vagabonds! Today we will be going on an exciting trip through some of the most mind-blowing places on this earth. Those that break and defy the laws of science and nature. Stick around till the end to see the most unbelievable place. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, give it a like, and let's get into it. Number 10. The Boiling River, Peru. We'll begin deep in the heart of the Amazon rainforest with Peru's legendary killer boiling river, the Shanay Timpishka. Imagine a river so hot it's boiling animals as they swim in it. And that's only slightly exaggerated. It's scalding hot, up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. But what really has scientists scratching their heads is the fact that this river is more than 400 miles away from the nearest volcanic system. Which is to say, there's no known geothermal activity in the area that might account for the heat. To the locals, it may be spiritual. To the scientific community, it was a mystery that needed scientific reasoning, from underground fissures channeling geothermal heat to an unknown myriad of natural phenomena. Just a few theories around it. Whatever the case may be, this boiling river goes against our understanding of geology and stands as one of Earth's strangest anomalies. Number 9. The Double Tree of Casorzo, Italy. Within the splendid region of Piedmont, Italy, lies an amazing botanical phenomenon, the Double Tree of Casorzo. Conjuring an image of a cherry tree sitting right on top of a mulberry tree, both prospering against the dictates of natural growth. While it is normally seen that from time to time, parasitic plants take root on other trees, for both not just to survive, but actually thrive. That's super rare. The fundamental biology is here in contradiction. The cherry tree should have shriveled away, its inability to get enough nutrients while perched atop another tree, precarious, and yet, the two trees are living in harmony. The mystery of how the roots of the cherry tree keep getting nourished, expanding, and thriving has stumped the botanists for several years. This has turned out to be such a weird phenomenon that it attracted the attention of tourists and researchers alike, who cannot help but speculate if there is something in the soil, the climate, or maybe even magic that allows this marvel to persist. Number 8. Lake Karachay, Russia. Secondly, let us take a bunch of hazardous bodies of water on Earth. The first would be Lake Karachay in Russia. This lake is reputedly known to be the most radioactive water in the world. During the time of the Soviet Union, this was used as a site for throwing nuclear waste. The radiation reached such a high point that exposure for an hour near its shores could mean intake of a lethal radiation dose. The puzzling thing from a scientific point of view with Lake Karachay is that despite the enormously high level of radiation, this lake keeps on staying as a full-fledged body of water. Normally, we would have expected the complete deterioration or mutation of life that was around the lake, but life keeps on persisting around it. While the water in the lake remains highly toxic, it has somehow adapted small organisms to its harsh conditions and enabled them to survive. It is a grim reminder of the hazardous byproducts of human activities and an extraordinary case of nature adapting to something it should be hostile to. Number 7. Movil Cave, Romania. It is located deep in Romania, isolated from the outside world for over 5.5 million years. There is that amazement with this cave in the sense that, although inside it there was a total lack of oxygen and air filled with toxic hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide, life bloomed in ways we never thought possible. 30-odd species that cannot be found anywhere else on Earth are housed within this peculiar biosphere of the completely closed ecosystem. They try to deduce how would such life forms subsist and even be successful seeing the hostile conditions? The atmosphere up here is deadlier than anywhere else, and it may be fatal to enter the cave without proper equipment. But here the organisms have not just adapted to, but evolved into forms which we would think impossible in such an environment. Number 6. The Devil's Kettle, Minnesota, USA. One such mysterious natural wonder, probably on the entire planet, has to be Minnesota's Judge C.R. Magny State Park, the Devil's Kettle. It is a waterfall that splits into two streams, one stream continuous on the natural path down the river, the other stream falling deep into a mysterious hole and seemingly disappearing forever. Despite years of research, scientists still aren't entirely sure where the water that enters the Devil's Kettle ends up. They've thrown dye tests, ping pong balls, and even GPS trackers in the pot, but they never reappear. Theories are that the water may be seeping into underground rivers or rejoining the main river much further downstream, but no one has been able to prove it. There is no conventional logic to the site of this baffling hydrological site, which has left scientists and tourists considering just where the disappearing water goes. Number 5. Eternal Flame Falls, New York, USA. An almost small waterfall in New York hosts an even smaller yet remarkable secret. A tiny, naturally gas-based flame that is burning bright behind the falling water. And this is no man-made trick. This is completely a natural phenomenon. It is fueled by methane gas from beneath the Earth's surface, seeping up through the cracks in the rock. And after being lit, the flame remains almost constantly ablaze. What is strange, however, is that while it is theoretically possible for this phenomenon to take place across other areas in the world, the flame at Eternal Flame Falls burns considerably brighter than it theoretically should, and with more consistency. Number 4. Magnetic Hill, India. A curious stretch of road reputedly called Magnetic Hill exists in the northernmost state of Ladakh, India. Here, vehicles appear to roll uphill, apparently in defiance of the laws of gravity. If you park your car at the bottom of the hill and take your foot off the brake, it will begin to roll backward, seemingly up. Many tourists crowd Magnetic Hill, trying this incongruous delight. But then, what is actually happening here? Whatever the reason, this is a place that has remained in a state of continuous bewilderment and thrill among the visitors. Whether it is physics or perception, one thing is clear. It is a gravity-defying experience that our scientific view of the world should find impossible. Number 3. Blood Falls, Antarctica. Next, we jet set to one of the coldest and most inhospitable parts of our globe, Antarctica. Locked underneath that pure white cover of ice is something almost out of a horror movie, Blood Falls. From under the Taylor Glacier flows this red waterfall, coloring the ice beneath a deep crimson. But what is its source? It so happens that the red color is a result of the iron-rich water, which when reaching the air, oxidizes somewhat like rust does. But here's the weird part. This water comes from a subglacial lake that has been trapped beneath the ice for more than 1 million years. The ecosystem of the lake exists without any sunlight, and despite being in isolation, it hosts microbial life. The Blood Falls is a glimpse of an ancient world that somehow sustains life in conditions that seem utterly impossible. Number 2. The Sailing Stones, Death Valley, USA. In the remote and barren racetrack playa of Death Valley, California, is a phenomenon that has had scientists scratching their heads for decades, the sailing stones. These large rocks seemingly move on their own, leaving long trails behind them in the dry, cracked mud. How these heavyweight rocks, weighing hundreds of pounds, could simply slide across the desert floor without a human or animal hand couldn't be figured out for many years by anybody. Then, after years of observation, finally, the case was cracked by scientists. This satisfies the scientists, but the visitor to Death Valley goes on being fascinated and puzzled by what seems to be a self-moving rock. There's something in the vision of those rocks moving on their own through the desert that is so very surreal and almost magical looking. Number 1. The Bermuda Triangle, Atlantic Ocean. And here we come to number 1, which is the most infamous and mysterious place on Earth, the Bermuda Triangle. A vast region in the North Atlantic Ocean, extending between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, has embraced the extensive history of disappearances of ships and planes for ages. Although most of the incidents have been explained by natural causes, ranging from storms to rogue waves to human error, very many more remain mysterious to scientists. Compasses go haywire, letting loose of swirling lights, areas in oceans where sneaking lights are spotted, and bang, an entire vessel vanishes without a trace. Some theorists claim that magnetic anomalies or perhaps even undersea gas eruptions are behind these events, but so far, no such explanation has ever cut it. The Bermuda Triangle is still one of the most mysterious and scientifically dumbfounding places on Earth, a fitting end to our journey through the world's scientifically impossible locations. Thanks for sticking around till the end. Do you know any more areas like this? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more amazing content. We'll see you in the next one. Happy exploring, my friends. Want to know about the world's most luxurious hotels? Check out this video to find out.